This is Danny Pepperseed representing for World of Reggae. We're at Reggae Geel right now, and next to me is a certified reggae legend. We have Sister Marcia Griffiths. Welcome, Marcia, in Belgium.
Thank you.
You just did your show. You did your show with a European band.
Yes.
You see those things like happening often at the moment, because of economics. Jamaican artists work with European bands. So, how was it for you to work with a European band?
Great.
Compared to a Jamaican band?
I'm telling you the truth. I think most of the times our Jamaican musicians sometimes take things for granted. But with these guys, I think they love and respect the music so much that they want to get everything so right. They listen and they try to, do everything exactly like how they hear it on the record. I personally enjoy working with that band. It was one of my nicest experiences with a band outside of Jamaicans.
Well, it's very, very good to hear. Like Asham Band is a great band. They have been working with many greats.
And you know what I love about them? They are willing to learn, and they don't feel as if they're too big for you to say no. That's not how it goes. I love working with guys like that.
It's very good to hear. Now, well, your list of achievements in reggae music is endless. I don't know where to start and I don't know where to end. You had a very successful solo career starting at Studio One. You formed partnership with Bob Andy and formed a duo with like Bob and Marcia. You had big hits especially in England with Young, Gifted and Black.
Yeah.
Then of course you were part of Bob Marley's Wailers as the I-Trees. You toured the whole world. Is there a place in this world where you've never been?
Yes. I've never been to India, and that's where my foreparents are from. My mother's father is from India because my mother was Indian, and I would love to touch the soil of India.
So is there a chance that you will go there soon?
Yes, definitely.
That's nice to hear.
It's in the making.
Yeah. So, well, with Bob, of course, you brought reggae to the four corners of the world and to a lot of other places where nobody heard of reggae before. So you have been a great ambassador. You have done a lot of things. You did combinations with a lot of artists. Is there a thing in the reggae music business that you would love to do that you say, all right, if that artist would come across, I would love to do a combination, or I would love to do an album with this producer or with that musician? Do you have still things on your wants list?
There's always going to be things here that you want to do because sky's the limit for me, and as I said, I shall sing as long as I live. So there are always things that I am going to always have in my vision. Every day a young artist is born. Romain Virgo is right here, and we did a beautiful combination, Romain and myself, that is going to be releasing very soon. So you never know. I love to explore and do things, and that's maybe one of the reasons why I'm still here, sharing stage with all these young singers and both male and female, because I'm always trying to stay current. And it's such a wonderful feeling to know that all these young singers, it is such a pleasure for them and an honor for them to do recordings with me. And that's why we decided that we would put together all these songs that we put on the Marcia and Friends, 38 tracks with DJs and singers. Even tonight, for an example, Cutty Rams is performing, and it's so unfortunate that I never had a chance to perform with Cutty. And we have done a couple of combinations together.
Yeah, some great hit tunes.
Yeah, wonderful.
In the 90s, yeah.
So I am always going to be doing things, surprising. We did a nice track with Gentleman, of course, too. And I love to do new things.
Yeah, it's really a nice thing that you as a veteran and well-experienced person in the business can teach the younger artists and do combinations with them.
Well, as you touch that point, one of my greatest accomplishments today is to know that when I started out, the business was male dominated. And today, I can truly and honestly say that I think it's 50-50 because I can pat myself on the shoulder and say, well done. Because all the young and even other singers like my own sister Judy Mawat, they all acknowledge, they would tell you that I have been their inspiration and their role model. So it must have been something positive for me to have inspired all these women, that they can be, doing positive things today. We have so many female singers. It's the most beautiful accomplishment. So I am happy that I could have inspired them all, and things have changed.
Yeah, and I've spoken to a lot of young female artists, and they all say, no, Marcia Griffiths, she's really like a role model for me.
Aline, just name them. It's a wonderful feeling that money can't buy.
Really, that must be. So let's get back to that album that you already mentioned, the album Marcia and Friends.
Yeah.
That album was released like earlier this year on Penthouse Records, VP Records. But it's a great compilation, as you mentioned, like 38 tracks. There are some classic tunes, like some of the big tunes from the Penthouse catalog from in the 90s, like your combinations with What You're Out and some new stars.
And there are other tracks that did not make the album, like with myself and Etana and Romain, Roy, maybe about 5 other tracks, Lady Saw and myself, that did make the track.
That would be a lovely combination to hear, Yeah, one of the tracks you did on that album was a version of Love is a Treasure.
Yeah, Carlton and the Shoes.
Carlton and the Shoes.
Yeah.
You did it together with Expo Levi, who unfortunately isn't here tonight. He was on the bill though.
Yes.
That's another young youth that's coming up right now as part of the new generation of cultural
artists. And he's doing very good.
Definitely. Like I really think he's an artist to watch.
Yes. I try to encourage all of these young artists because one of the main things I wanted to do as an elder in the business and from such a long time is to do something that I spoke about it in my 40th anniversary, and sometimes I often think is the ideas I had that I spoke about, people take it and run away with it before I started doing it. Something like Rising Star that they do in Jamaica, to try to highlight young talent. That was one of the things that I wanted to do. Because there are a lot of young singers that would come to me for help and guidance, and I would direct them to Penthouse.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So to work with some well-experienced people.
Yeah.
So before we're gonna end the interview, you're here in Europe right now. You're currently doing some shows. When you go back to Jamaica, are there any projects that you're working on and that your fans can look forward to?
Yes, because seeing that I'm celebrating my 50th year in the business next year, I am doing an album to release next year at the Penthouse, and there are so many different things that's going to be happening next year. We're going to be doing a huge show in different parts of Hawaii, Jamaica, and I think New York. With all this entire show is going to be done in decades. It's so unfortunate that some of these people that I wanted to share this moment with passed away. People like Byron Lee, who I started out with in '64, Philip James of the Blues Busters, who discovered me, Mr. Dodd, Clement Dodd from Studio One. It's just unfortunate, but we're still going to go through and do the show in decades. We're starting out with Byron Lee, and I'm going to be performing with all the singers I did collab with, like Tony Gregory, Bob Andy. Bob Marley is not here as well because we did a song at Studio One too. Then we're going to the 70s, Sly and Robbie, which actually with I3 and whoever else was there. Right up until the 21st century.
It sounds really great. It sounds like you have to bring that show to Europe as well. You can't hold back on this.
Well, we'll see about that. It's going to be interesting, very interesting, because can you imagine when we touch the 90s coming up? Because that's where the climax with all the DJs, the younger artists.
Yeah, that was a nice period. You know, that was a period when I came into the business
Yes,
as well, and
yes.
I really enjoyed that very much.
Yes.
All right, Sister Marcia. Well, thank you very much for your time and for doing the interview with us.
Thank you for having me, and I'd like to say that I would just like to continue to sing as long as I live, to teach and educate, to touch souls, which no doctor in the universe can do. So I shall sing as long as I live. And as long as I live, I shall sing. Thank you.
Nice.